What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's big announcement. What's up, Miss Cassandra?
Nothing much, just jamming out to those drums and super excited about the announcement we're about to make.
Yeah, this is it's been a long time coming, and first and foremost, I gotta say, we don't say this often enough, and the older I get, the more I say that. But I'm proud of us. I'm proud of you for all the hard work that we've put into this moment. It's been a long time coming for sure. We say it's been something that we've been working on for 9 years, but in reality, it's been a lot longer than that. Did I already make you cry?
I already said. Look, I was like, I'm not gonna get emotional. Like 9 seconds in, I'm like, ah.
Oh man, listen, you and I, we've been partners now for 14 years. It wasn't just real estate when we got started, right? We got started in insurance supplement claims. What we weren't even in the real estate world. That led to us eventually starting our general contracting business, doing remodels for homeowners, investors, all of the above. I want to take us back to the moment that really kind of introduced us to real estate before we get to the announcement. I think it's important for people to understand, where we came from. 24.
Well, I think that's a part of what makes it so emotional for me too.
Yeah.
Holy cow, like taking us back to those years in and of themselves as GCs. Like I always, since I'm such a visual person, like I always think about the remodel. What was it? What was the street? White Rock Lake, Waterbridge.
Waterbridge Circle. That was our first ever remodel that we ever did. So for those that haven't heard that story, we did a roof job, and it was an insurance claim. Actually, funny enough, Cassie sold that deal, and the story that comes along with that is we were door knocking in her Kia Soul, and Cassie refused to get out of the car to
Indeed,
go.
I did.
And I literally had to physically push her out of the car. And I was like, listen, guaranteed that homeowner wants to talk to you more than he wants to talk to me. Like pretty lady or big bearded guy. I didn't have the beard back then, but still pretty sure they're going to want to talk to you over me. And she got out, luckily enough. A guy in his late 20s opened the door.
Yeah, I feel like he was like our age. So at the time, like between 26 and 29. So I legitimately, RJ refused to leave. And I was like, well, then I guess we're going to be those people that look like psychos sitting in front of this house. Eventually, I did get out of the car and just went and knocked on the door. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to bomb it. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm so uncomfortable. Like I knew about the roofs. I knew about the supplements, but I had never door knocked a day in my life. And it just was so uncomfortable for me. And eventually I just did it just to get him to leave.
Yep.
I wanted him to do it so I could shadow him so I could pick up on stuff. So I go and I knock on the door and he answers. And I was like, what are the odds that this is going to be somebody that can relate to me way more than I imagined? And he says, yeah, you can definitely go ahead and climb on the roof. There's still a part of me to this day that makes me think that he did not think I was going to climb on that roof. We're sitting out there with that Kia Soul. And there is a part of me that that thinks he was just like, yeah, let's see what you're made of, chick. And I was like, all right, we'll be back. We got to go meet our guys for a ladder. We go to Home Depot, we buy a ladder that will, fold up and fit in the case hole. And then we get back there. And this is like a, 2-story, like it seemed like 2.5 stories to me, but like really tall, really big, beautiful house over, in a, more wealthy part of Dallas. And at the time, I would say, over $1 million home today would probably be a couple $1 million home. And like, it was really intimidating to me, but I just got up onto the one part of the roof that I could reach and climb on, and like took photos of every possible thing I could see. It did have hail damage. I went and I just walked him through that process that I knew. And he was like, okay, job's yours. Fast forward, we do the roof. We make a really good payday on it, which was huge to us at the time.
Well, we made a really good payday because of what we had done previously, which was boost insurance claims. Someone asked if we were insurance adjusters. No, we weren't. We were essentially like not a public adjuster, but acting like a public adjuster. We were representing the roofing contractor and saying, hey, you missed these line items, getting the insurance to pay for those, and then taking 10% of whatever we boosted the claim. So we were really good at that. So in this job here, because it had multiple trades, we got overhead and profit. I think we probably made more money on that job than we had ever made in our entire lives. And when I went and picked up the final check from the homeowner, he asked me, he said, do y'all do remodels? And I said, of course, because what does an entrepreneur do? You say, of course. And
inside, I am literally dying. I'm like, we've never done a remodel in our lives, and I want to shake this man.
Well, we've never even owned a house, right? I mean, we've nothing remotely close to this. And he said, well, I'm doing a flip. The keys are in the mailbox. Go take a look at it. Write up a bid for me. The job's yours. So we went over there, and I remember the moment where Cassie and I walked into the house. We walked around. We took a look. Really awkward floor plan. Really, really devastatingly ugly house.
Had squatters in it. It had like a sewage leak under. It was like part of the house was slab, part of it was pier and beam. It had a sewage leak under the part that was like pier and beam. It smelled to high heaven. Like you felt like you needed a hazmat suit in that one. Like that was not as bad as Cat Piss House. Not as bad as that.
Almost that bad though. It was almost that bad. And sitting, I sat down at the fireplace and remember telling Cassie, like, we can do this. And we've each had moments like this. Normally, the way that our roles have kind of played out has been where Cassie has kind of said something that inspired me to then, take a lot of the action and a lot of the vision. And I was, in this case, the one that kind of casted the vision for her. And I said, I trust that with your design capabilities and your art background and our ability to problem solve and find the subcontractors that can do this work, we can do this. And we got the job. We started the rehab and do what a crazy rehab it was. We knocked down load bearing walls. We added a bathroom, from foundation work to new roof to new fence to an entire interior remodel. We did all of that. And why this was an important job for us is because it was the first time we ever heard the term wholesaling real estate. We continuously asked the homeowner, where'd you get this from? He bought it from Net Worth Realty, which is a huge big box wholesaler here in Dallas, Fort Worth. And, we asked enough questions to where it started leading us to doing some research ourselves about what that was. And inevitably, that also led us to getting rid of the insurance supplement business, which was called Fairway Solutions. And we went full time into flipping or remodeling houses as record contracting. Cassie flourished in that business. She was great working with the subcontractors and the design of our projects. It was crazy to see some of the things that we did. We did an industrial bathroom remodel here in Fort Worth.
Oh,
Just sick. I mean, it had a full concrete shower, custom concrete shower that we made. Another one that we did in Highland Village that had stainless steel countertops with custom cabinetry. And I mean, just all kinds of different things that we did.
the concrete island. Like one of the memorable ones to me is the seller in Dallas that wanted the concrete island because they'd seen the photos of that Highland Village project, but she couldn't afford it. And so I said, I got you, hold my beer. And like I made MDF countertops that looked like concrete countertops. And I think that going back to that, like one of the most important parts of this part of our story is it is insane to me now, like knowing how little we did at the time about those components of business, right? Like the actual construction, the actual, like so much of that part of our journey, I attribute to us like figuring out the process, like, and being really adamant about that and making sure we were as knowledgeable as we could be in that process and seeking guidance, you know, through all of that. And even when we'd heard about wholesaling, we had this curiosity at the time. It sparked that curiosity big time in RJ because, you know, I'll never forget when he said the words to me like, well, actually you say it because you say it better than I do. Like they're the middleman, that part.
Yeah, I mean, essentially what I deciphered is as a general contractor, you know, we had the homeowner and then we had our subcontractors. And as a general contractor, we were the middleman. And then when we found out about wholesaling, I was like, hold on, you have a motivated seller and you have a cash buyer. Well, who's the wholesaler? The middleman. The difference there is as much as Cassie flourished when we were general contractors, I was pretty miserable. I didn't really, I loved the end product. I loved the process. I just didn't like how the business wasn't really scalable for us. And I didn't feel like I was in a position of power. I felt like I could do a lot more. I was consistently seeking out better ways to get at marketing and sales for our business, but I also felt handicapped because it was like, well, you can only do so many sales because we only have so many subcontractors. We only have the ability to handle so much business. And it was like, where are we going to go with this business? Now, along our journey, there's been so many different people that have helped us, and some of which we've never named. So first and foremost, when we were doing the insurance supplement business, Taylor Brown and Austin Broom. I mean, I haven't said those names in forever. They were
chills.
They were our original boys. They were in their late teens, early 20s, working for us. They took a chance, and then Roberto and Alberto, when we started the general contracting business, those were our guys that, we turned to. They were the ones that actually implemented the vision that Cassie and I cast for all of the different projects that we did. And
little Luis.
Right. Now, real quick, before we go too far into this, we are doing a giveaway today. We are going to give away Cassie's Titanium Profits course as well as my King Closers Blueprint. And here's the deal. Cassie and I get to pick who wins, okay? And it's going to go to whoever gives the best comment. So whoever writes the thing that just either makes us cry. Cassie's already cried once.
I didn't cry. I teared up.
Or or makes me laugh because I laugh. Okay. So we'll pick a winner at the end. And then we've got our announcement that we're going to make here in a little bit. But getting back to the story, Cassie and I were doing these rehabs. And listen, in 2012, I shared this the other day. We started our actual entity, Fairway Solutions LLC, in August of 2012. September of 2012, my dad unexpectedly fell and passed away from traumatic brain injury inside of his house. He watched Monday Night Football, got up to go to bed, tripped, fell, hit his head, and never woke up again. He was in his mid-50s. It was super tragic. A month later, my son was born, which makes it even more tragic that my dad passed away when he did, because he never got to meet Trinity. And also he didn't get to see what we've been able to accomplish, which to this day is so difficult for me. I wish you could see the amount of lives that we've been able to impact, not only with the houses that we bought and sold, the houses that we've remodeled, but also what we've just been able to do with this type of content. And then also with what we're going to announce with our announcement at the end.
This is a part of his legacy,
Absolutely. So 2 years after that, so it's July, August 2014, my mom reached out to us and said, hey, Flipping Boston, funny enough, house flipping show on A&E, the network that we would later be on, is coming to Fort Worth, Texas, and they want to teach us how to do real estate investing. And I've got tickets for us to go. It was free, but she signed up and whatnot. So we go to a hotel in Fort Worth, Texas, and basically they're like, there's this thing that you can do called wholesaling, and it's, you don't have to have any of your own money, and we want to teach you how to do it, but we're not going to teach you for free. So go to the back of the room and sign up. It's $1,200, and you can come back and we'll teach you how to wholesale. So we went, $1,200. We signed up. A week later, we come back. Still no Flipping Boston, right? It's just random people. There is no Flipping Boston besides pictures of them, just like a little cutout, cardboard cutout. And I'll never forget this day. This is one of the most important days of my life. And you never know. I talk about embracing moments. You never know when they're going to happen. This was one of the most important days of my life. Went and sat in a hotel lobby or a conference room and listened to a man in leather pants talk about how wholesaling had changed his life. And he was the biggest douchebag in the world. He got up there and he bragged about the expensive cars that he drives and how he lives on Camelback Mountain in Phoenix, Arizona. And he talked about an assignment of contract. He talked about double closing. He talked about all of the things that we do now on a daily basis. And he said just enough where I was like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm the wrong middleman right now. I need to be that middleman right there. The numbers instantaneously I got it. I understood. So when he finished, he said, you can go to the back of the room and talk to them. And you can sign up if you really want to learn how to do this. Because, they didn't actually teach us shit. They just said some fancy words. And I walked right up to him and I said, my name's RJ Bates III, and I'm going to be your greatest student of all time. And literally, Cassie was there. My mom was there. They watched me do it. And he said, well, we've had some really successful students. I mean, I don't know about that, young man, but, best of luck to you. You just get back there in the back of the room and you're just going to swipe that card, and we'll see what you're made of. And, we let them know. We went to the back of the room, and they said $65,000. And I was like, fuck me, man. I thought
I then peed my pants in public. No big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I didn't know what to do. you know. And so we walked out the entrance of the hotel. It's off of Meacham Boulevard here in Fort Worth, and
Pace wasn't in this industry at the time.
no, yeah,
This
it was
was
that Pace. And this guy has not done 1/1000th of what Pace has done. And we stood out there, and my mom said I could put this on my American Express. She said,
I literally was thinking about like how the heck I was gonna figure it out without this program so RJ could literally fulfill his purpose in life. And I'm like, 65 grand. Like I've never even thought about like having that much money. And so when she said that, I basically peed my pants again in the parking lot. I didn't actually do any pants peeing.
She said, I could put this on my credit card if you're willing to do it as a loan and pay me back. So I said, all right, let's do it. That's how confident I was right there. We walked in, we swiped the card for $65,000. And what we got for $65,000, I normally say, you know, we got taught how to get deals off the MLS and Dispo on Craigslist. Here's what we actually got. We got 2 days, one-on-one with a guy from Clarksville, Tennessee. His name was Randy. He came in and he taught us what we know about sub 2. So we did learn that. We got a 3-day boots on the ground implementation at another hotel in Fort Worth where they gave us a book that we actually found the other day. It's back here in a closet.
Why didn't I get it?
I know, right? That's where they taught us what an assignment was, what a double close was, what transactional funding was. They walked us through all of the steps. Okay. And then we got to go to Vegas, and that was the buyer summit. My mom ended up buying 5 vacant lots in Florida. She bought a rental property with a hard money loan in Flint, Michigan. Warren, Michigan. I'm sorry.
Warren, Michigan. Yeah.
And that's also where we got our first deal. So we learned how to get deals off the MLS. I started putting in offers. We got a property under contract in Arlington, Texas while we were at class. We made the packet. We sent it to Craigslist. Within 30 minutes of us sending it out, a buyer was there at the property walking it, and we assigned it for $7,500. So we actually did a double close on that. We didn't assign it. And the thing about it was that was August of 2014. We did a couple more deals in 2014. That's where the $11 story is, where I basically left Cassie alone with the general contracting business and said, I'm going to focus on wholesaling. You focus on our projects. So we weren't selling anymore. We weren't even marketing for Rucker Contracting. I was trying to figure out how to do wholesaling. And we got a property under contract in Keller, Texas. And we had to put $1,000 earnest money down and $100 option fee because you have to pay for your inspection period. It's called an option period here in Fort Worth, Texas. That $1,100 would leave us with $11 in our bank account total. And we had no credit because we were maxed out. And I remember telling Cassie, like, I can promise you we're going to sell this. We're going to sell this deal, and we're never going to look back at that point. And we did.
And mind you, I was like heavily running all the jobs we had in our contracting business. And I was still kind of a little bit lost and overwhelmed and thinking, okay, I'm going to like study. Like, I'm going to study. I'm going to get caught up on this, and it's going to be less scary. And yeah, I mean, we had so much cash out on those jobs waiting for them to be completed, like that. It was a scary moment. It was like a huge leap of faith, but like I'll never forget like so many moments like that in our journey where it's just like I see that twinkle in RJ's eye and I just know. Like prior to like let's rewind. Prior to us even starting this business, he was my best friend, and I think that I've always had like such huge faith in what he's going to do with his life, and I've always seen him and always believed in him. And so fast forward like to so many moments like that, like this $11, like it was scary, but I think most people, and even me, Cassie, without RJ, would not be able to overcome that fear. But in reality, in all of those moments, um, I kind of believed in our ability so much at that point, 2 years in to being entrepreneurs together, like we're going to figure it out. Like through everything like that, like this dude already had me like, yeah, we flip houses and like we have no idea how to flip a house. like at this point I'm like, okay, I really don't understand this earnest money and option business, but if you say so, let's do it. Like, we're a
Listen,
little
I mean,
crazy.
at that point, we had already done a deal. So it was about like, hey, we're going to be real and we're going to do this. We've got to take some risks. We took that risk. We sold the deal to a buyer out of Idaho. Um, the caveat to us selling that deal is we had to be his contractor on the flip. So we didn't fully get out of the contracting business yet because we had to be the contractor on that project. That was our last ever project though. January 1st, 2015, New Year's Day was the day that I told Cassie, we're not going to sell another Rucker contracting job. We're going to go full time into wholesaling real estate. And we never looked back. I mean, honestly, it's crazy to think about shutting down a business that you poured your heart and soul into, which is what we did. But I've never regretted it one day.
Me either. And I think, as I was inherently good at being the general contractor. I was really good at the work, making sure the work was facilitated, organized, projected properly. The paperwork was in line. The contractors were in line. The design was carried out. Like I was really good at that. So I still to this day have a love for it. It is something that yeah, I mean, like that's what I loved about the TV show, aside from like our camera crew and like the filming process.
We always talk about that side of things. I actually got really good at it too, and I started
I
enjoying
was gonna
design
say that
aspect.
earlier. I was like, don't play. You didn't fall in love with design.
I
Don't
did.
play.
I actually really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the creation process, the vision part of it, and then the end results.
I think
Um,
it's like always taking something and creating something beautiful out of it for me. Like that's just part of my artist's heart. But I think there's just something so much more about it. And like it is mirrored in like our wholesaling business as well. It's mirrored in our education as well. And that is creating something that is a home and a haven and like a comfort and a solution and like for people like creating a home for a person like functionally beautiful like is always like where my heart is. And like I love that process. Well, like, it's the same thing in what we do with people in their businesses, with sellers with their homes, for buyers, for people who are part of our products. You know what I'm saying? Like it is
you
just such
guys
a huge
only knew
passion.
how many times I've had to hear Cassie say "functionally beautiful." It's probably 5 billion times at this point, but listen, it did become a passion for us. But when we made the decision to move on from contracting, I mean, we went out, we did $750,000 in assignments that first year in 2015. Almost all, I think there was one that was off market, everything else was on the market, and the one that was off market was just kind of a weird scenario that kind of fell in our lap. It wasn't that we went out and pursued it. But we taking the action that we took early on and um, to this day, I get so inspired when I see other people do similar type things where I hear them talk about, I was working a W-2 or, um, I bought this education course and then I was able to go out and change my life. It's amazing to see that. And, 2015, we did 750. 2016 was our first 7-figure year. And we haven't looked back since, right? We've had a lot of struggles along the way, but 2017 was the year in which I said I wanted to start the Titanium Vault podcast. And it was the first thing that we really did content wise to push out a message about how real estate investing and wholesaling changed our lives. And it was funny because I'd never listened to a podcast before. I'd only been a guest on 2 podcasts, one of which I was so nervous I couldn't even breathe for the first 5 minutes, and are recorded on my cell phone inside of your laundry room. My first ever podcast I recorded inside of Cassie's laundry room.
And I'm pretty sure he was sweating so badly. Like, he was probably dripping sweat at the time. Like, he came out of there.
This is a classic example of the fear that you put on yourself is false evidence appearing real. I mean, it just, like, I had this fear that, one, people didn't want to hear my voice, or that I would say the wrong thing, or that I couldn't sit in front of a camera and inspire people. And what's crazy about that is now I literally live in front of a camera. I don't even think about it. I can't remember. The last time I got nervous about recording a video is when I did 10 minutes of me sitting in silence, sitting in front of this camera. If you haven't watched the art of awkward silence or how to master awkward silence video, go watch that. Okay. It was literally 10 minutes of me staring at this webcam. That is really hard to do. But the fear that we had there was not real. And I don't even know why it existed. But because I overcame that and started doing the podcast and pushing myself to be uncomfortable, it made such a difference in so many different people's lives. And I started hearing that feedback from so many different people that it eventually led to us going to We Live here in Dallas, Max Maxwell's event, and hearing Gary Vaynerchuk speak and him saying, why are you not sharing your story? Why don't create content? Just be the content. Share your entire journey, good or bad. And it resonated with me so much that I literally started sharing the good and the bad. And that led to us starting this YouTube channel that many of you are watching right now, which now we have over close to 1,200 videos on. We're at like 2.5 million views. I looked this morning, we have 400,000 views in January. The compound of what we have been building for years, right? We've been on YouTube for 7 years. We're at 2.5 million views, and we have 400,000 of those in the past 30 days. It's just been such a long journey to get here. Now, let's talk about, what we're here for and how we got here, because a lot happened post-COVID, right?
Well,
COVID happened.
Like,
we changed our business.
Hold on. Before we talk about COVID, I just want to say that I don't think that you made a big enough deal about how starting that podcast and overcoming those fears changed so much for our lives and businesses, because at first it was just you came out of that laundry room like you had been in a sauna. And I was like, are you okay? And do you need to go to the doctor? And then it was fast forward. We were on Propelio TV and you didn't want to be in front of a camera because you had fears. And every one of those fears that you overcame, like with saying the wrong thing, and like it is so truly inspired me and our team. But it opened so many doors for us nationwide. It gave us a chance to give back in ways we would never have otherwise been able to give back. It became something that literally created our brand beyond what we could have ever imagined. And like, there's just so much more to that. It gives us the opportunity to like be where we are today. Like without that piece, like there is no announcement today. Like it was such a pivotal thing. And it was just another one of those moments where even though you had fear around it, you had that twinkle in your eye. And I was like, I don't understand the vision here, but let's do this podcast and let's we could do it like a talk show. We could share, we could get information, we could learn and network people and blah, blah, blah. And RJ's like, no, you don't get to be on the podcast. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I just have this vision for it. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I can always start my own podcast, but let's do what you're made of. And like this dude, y'all, it's so funny to hear him like say that, like how he felt back then, because it's so funny to me, because it's like, what the hell? Like this dude is such a natural at this stuff. But he sure did come out of that laundry room like he had been in a sauna. I was like, oh, Lord of mercy. Anyways, you can fast forward to 2020. COVID happens.
To give an idea, in August of 2017, the podcast had 86 listens.
We were big. We were proud of that.
86 people listened to it. 295 in September. 207 in October. We lost some people. 289. And then 800. And then 1,200. And it just continued to go up from there. It was
RJ
fun
loves
to see
stats.
how people started enjoying it, right? And so, you know, we were pretty consistent with that 2017, 18, 19. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, that's where the content journey really took off. That's when we did the first 50-day challenge. It was to steady our business. Our business was failing. I needed to do something. I read the book Relentless, and I said, I got to grab the damn ball and go win the game. And that's what we did. And I didn't do it by myself, but at least I felt like what I was doing was everything that I could do. And that was with the first 50 deals in 50 states in 50 days challenge in 2020. We did 86 deals in 49 different states during that challenge. That led to Closers Olympics. It led to more lives, Batch TV. It led to the 2021 Closers Olympics, where I won that one. So hard to point against the camera. And then, you know, winning the 2022 Wholesaling Live Challenge, winning the 2023 Closers Olympics. Man, just so much came from us putting out the content and turning on the lights and telling people who we were and what we do here at Titanium. And I'll never forget, after that 50-day challenge in 2020, Jesse Burrell from Batch calling and saying, you're doing a disservice to the community, to yourself, to your team, and to your family to not have some sort of education. That's what inspired the Titanium Crucible. Because I said, we're not going to set up an education business. We want to. We have plans to. But we're not in a position to do that yet. And he said, just do a boot camp and share exactly what you do at Titanium Investments. And I said, well, I could do that. I could share exactly what we do, because we actually do this business every single day. It's our passion, and it's what we do. We show up here every single day, and we talk to sellers, we talk to buyers, and we buy and sell real estate. That is what we do for a living. That is how we support ourselves. That's how we support our families, and that's how we have our team. And so I said, I can absolutely do that. Cassie can absolutely do that. and we loved the titanium crucible. The crucible
Yes.
was an amazing journey for years. Um, this past
Another that was another moment in time for me that I was nervous on the first crucible. I was. I remember that. Like I was nervous. I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like I,
do you know
it was
why?
just uncharted territory. Like I believed in us.
It
It
wasn't
just was
about us ananymore, though. It was about other
yeah.
people.
It was like making sure we delivered it in a way that people received it. Like it was uncharted territory for me more than it was RJ. But in that setting, it was for RJ as well. Like I credit so much of his confidence into like the podcast and the content creation that he's been doing since 2017, because it has been such a pivotal part of him sharpening his skills and his leadership. And it's like I have so much love and respect for his drive and his passion for that, and what a part of it our business it has been, that like I would get into moments still like this, like the first crucible, man, like first day of filming TV on house flipping, not a stitch of nerves. Like I had no nerves, cool as a cucumber, wasn't even concerned, ready to kill it. But that's because I had experience. It wasn't uncharted territory for me, and the cameras didn't bother me. Like my personality, my ability to speak on like something that I am an expert in is not a problem for me, but it was really different. Like when the people are right in front of you and like you have to see how they're receiving it, and like, their performance is based on how well you deliver it. Their receiving it is based on how well you deliver it. And it was like a big deal to me, that first crucible. And I will forever and always have such a place in my heart for the crucible in and of itself. Like,
I remember the first several crucibles standing in front of everybody and saying, my job is to get everything up here
yeah,
into your brain in the next 2 days, because that's what we wanted to accomplish. And I think we did that as best as we possibly could for many crucibles. Everything that we were doing here at Titanium Investments in 2021 and 2022 and 2023 was shared at those crucibles. Um, the pivotal moment for me and Cassie in 2023 was doing the second 50-day challenge and doing 125 contracts in those 50 days, and having Cassie be a bigger part of the 50-day challenge, where it wasn't just she was filling in, she was actually talking to sellers and talking about the transaction coordination, the recon and the dispositions and all of that. And then seeing the success that we had with all the different things that we were doing here at Titanium Investments, and then going to Family Mastermind and hearing from our colleagues about, you guys have so much to give, and I think you're just not putting it out there in the right way. Love the 2-day event, love the crucible, love Titanium, but RJ, you're the king closer. And it bothered me so much that everyone kept saying that. They were like, RJ, you're the king closer. You should call it the king closer. And what no one ever realizes is that no matter what, you'll never get this to be about RJ or Cassie. It will always be Titanium. And if Titanium is to be the king closer, then that's fine. But we are the king closer, not me, because I'm not here without Cassie. I'm not here without everyone that's been along on this journey. So I don't care if people call me the king closer, because I'm a part of Titanium. And so that's fine. We are the king closer. So I said, I'm going to listen to people a lot smarter than me. I'm going to listen to Robert Wensley. I'm going to listen to Brent Daniels. I'm going to listen to Pace Morby. And when they say these types of things to us, we're going to embrace that and say, all right, we are the king closer. And so that's where we came up with the closer's formula. And when I gave that speech at Wholesaling Live about how I talk to sellers, and Cassie saying, RJ, this is your closer's formula. It changed things for us. Expedition, whatever that word is.
Exponentially.
There you go. That's the one I was looking for. It changed things for us, and we really started wanting to refocus, and as well as focusing on what we had always wanted to do, something that I had a vision for a long time before COVID, before the 50-day challenges, before there was fake wrestling belts behind me, and all of that. I've
I want
always
to interject like for 10 seconds and bookmark you on that, because like I just want to point out something like that is so hard for me to put words into. Like every one of these big moments that we're trying to highlight, right? Like we're 45 minutes in, and like we're trying to like condense, you know, how many years? 2012, 12 years of, you know, moments. And I know you always talk about embracing moments, but it's so interesting to me because like in every one of these moments, I remember this feeling, and it's like a bundle of butterflies and nerves, but also like my soul is lit on fire. Like is how excited I am to embrace these moments. And like I feel like in every one of them, like we ended up having like going until all hours of the night, like thinking and planning, and you know what I mean? Like we would have these like really like long discussions of like, what does this vision look like, you know? And like it was just such a cool like thing to remember. And like maybe it is because I'm a visual person, and like that's how I remember us in these moments where we're just like, I'm sitting there and I'm taking notes on a piece of paper, and I'm like, okay, but then this, and then you're like this, and then this, you know? It's like those are just like the awesome behind the scenes things that like are so precious in these times for us. Like it's so cool. Like, and then also I will never forget the adrenaline of that first belt. That first belt, I was shaking. I was running around the entire place, like screaming and jumping and, and hollering.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of crazy moments that we've had like that, right? Both closers Olympics were huge moments for us. It's why I love talking about it. It's why I show them. You know, I take them to the events because I'm so proud of it, not only for myself but also for our journey, our
Yes.
team, what we've been through. There's been so many people that have come and gone through Titanium that have brought us here. And, you know, our announcement today is so crazy because some people might think that this is something that we've just come up with, but it's not. I mean, this is literally, we bought airplane tickets in 2019 to discuss this with people in other parts of the country.
Yep.
We've literally sat down in people's office and spitballed this idea to people and said, what do you think about this? Here's the thing. The team is right now. The people, Titanium, is where it's supposed to be in order for us to do this. I am in the right spot to finally do this. Cassie is in the right spot to finally do this. And I have to say, to our internal team that is here every single day, I love and adore each and every one of them. The fact that you
Their
guys
family.
have probably heard me talk about Kristen, our bookkeeper. I mean, she is so much more than just a bookkeeper and what she brings to this family. Keaton, our transaction coordinator, Garrett and Justin, the lifelines to our business, what they bring from a dispositions and an acquisition standpoint. AJ coming on and joining the team here most recently. We're soon to be adding Cannon to the team as well. And then the pivotal pieces for our announcement today are Nick and Sema. I
Jesus.
just I
I
I
feel
love,
like the luckiest girl alive.
yeah.
Like that's my family, and I, ooh,
Yeah.
like it's so much more than just saying like we wouldn't be able to do this without them. It's so much more than saying that the timing is right. Like I feel like God literally gave us the right people at the right time, and like that is something that we have been blessed with. I feel like I could say that we worked for it because like for some reason these people are attracted to our madness, um our craziness. I mean I think for all good reasons, but at the same time I'm just like I feel so humbled by it. I feel so blessed to have our team around us, and it that in and of itself is such a great feeling that we've had people from the beginning of being entrepreneurs until this current team that we can honestly say like we loved. They were a good fit at the time, but they were there for a season, um, for a reason. And I think that now I call like these are my lifers, these are my legacy, players. And like I tell people all the time, like, no, that's my family. Like I fully intend to for us to be in each other's lives for life. And
Yeah,
I
I
believe
mean, Justin and Garrett, I mean, they took the Yellowstone brand. I mean, we literally branded them and said, "You're a lifer." I mean, if they want to quit, we got to take them to the train station. So, I mean, they're here for life for sure. And Nick, I mean, the moment I met Nick, it was like I met my little brother that I never had. He's like physically my little brother. And also, he would actually be my brother if he enjoyed food. But because he doesn't enjoy food, I think he's not actually my brother. Outside of that, I mean, we're so
he
much alike.
likes food. It's just very specific food. Anyways, no, Nick and Sema are like our spirit animals. Like we're their spirit animals. I don't know. I just can't believe it. I like when I think about it, and I think about it often, if not daily, every other day at minimum. I do think about this often, and I don't know like how to say this, but like I think it's just part of my natural gratitude process. Like I think about this a minimum every other day, and I don't know what words that I can put into it. Like I feel like so blessed, so empowered, so ready to just tear shit up. Let's fucking go. Like I am like when I think about how amazing our team is and how perfect they are for us. Like everything that happened up until now, and sorry for I don't often drop that word on lives, but bleep me out. Like everything that has happened up until now, um, I genuinely feel like it was for this.
Someone
Like
on Facebook says, "I don't even know why I'm crying." I think I'll answer that. I think I have a feeling. I think um, maybe the reason why you're crying is because you can feel how real this journey has been for us, and how
you can relate.
willing we are to share it. Where I think sometimes the journeys that people share are just maybe they're not realistic, maybe they don't resonate with you, maybe that's what it is. You can relate
Maybe
to
they're
our
just
journey.
trying to tell a story and we're just telling our story. Like
Yeah.
it's the Gary V thing, like don't create, like document. Like this is us just being 1,000 us and kind of telling you how we got here. And there's emotions involved in it. And like, hey, we're doing our job right if we're evoking emotions out of you guys because you should have things that are relatable in our
Listen,
story.
I mean, and this is just a part of the story. I mean, there's so many more like details that we could go into. We're not going to today because we've already kept you here almost an hour and we haven't even made our damn announcement. But the facts are, there's been so many opportunities where we could have quit. We could have given into this, but I know for a fact that me and Cassie have a purpose with this industry. And it's a lot larger than buying and selling houses because that does not satiate our appetite. We also are very caring people to a fault. We want other people to taste what we have tasted in this industry. So, can we do it? Can we just go ahead and tell them? We got to tell them before we hit an hour, right?
We can do this however we want, but I think they understand this has been a long time coming. I think they understand a little bit about where it comes from. And I think that they might understand how big this is and important it is to us. But
yes.
Okay, you can do it.
Okay. So remember, before I made the announcement, because after this, I'm sure you guys are going to have questions and all of that. At some point in time, I'm going to go through here. Cassie's going to go through here. We're going to announce who the winner is for the King Closers Blueprint, as well as Cassie's Titanium Profits course. Give that away for free to the best comment. So if you've got something witty to say, now's the time to say it. So here's the deal. February 22nd, 2/22. Why? Because titanium is the 22nd element. Cassie is born on February 22nd. It's her birthday. My number growing up was 22. It's our number. It's our thing. Okay. So on February 22nd, Titanium University is going live. It is going to be our community. It is going to be our legacy inside of this industry. It is going to be the most comprehensive A to Z wholesaling course and community out there. I promise you that what we are putting together is second to none. Man, what a great way to interrupt the announcement there, Cassie.
I don't use this phone. It's for internet.
I didn't even know there was a phone back there. No, I'm just playing. So here's the deal. Titanium University. This has been the name, the thought behind it, everything behind it has been in works for years. And for some of you, you might be like, well, what's different about this than the Crucible and the Closers Forum? All of that was in person. This is, hey, we're putting together the virtual course with modules with me and Cassie. We're literally going to share everything that we can possibly share. And the difference here is we're not limited. We're not limited to 2 days. We're not limited to what you can consume or retain over the next 2 days.
And I don't know if you guys have picked up on this yet. We're psychos. Like, we won't stop. We will not stop.
Yes.
RJ is like, I'm going to go live every day in our community. Like, we're not going to stop. And there's more that comes with it than the modules. I literally feel like I'm just like my brain, everything I think, everything, I'm going to pour it every single bit of this. And it's going to be literally, I think of the index cards in the library, like when we were kids. If you're too young to know what I'm talking about, but you know, the card catalog. And if you're too young to know what I'm talking about, don't think that some comment on that is going to win on this Facebook. I mean, on this contest. Okay, so like, it's the card catalog. Like, we are going to get like every detail, everything we can ever think of, and we can create until the end of us doing this, as long as we have internet. I mean,
listen, here's the thing. What we are going to create is the most powerful community inside of wholesaling. I am certain of that. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, I have already proclaimed it as it when I proclaimed myself the winner of the Closers Olympics when there were no belts. Okay, I know that without a shadow of a doubt. Here's the thing: before we continue on about talking about Titanium University, I'm announcing my winner for the King Closers Blueprint. It is this Facebook user right here. I spent 1 year after finishing a real estate investing seminar too nervous and afraid to get my first deal. My first deal came from you, and I've been following you ever since. I stuck to your words, and I now own 13 units that I'm fixing up for cash flow. I did 2 wholesale deals where I made $40,000, and I was able to buy my family a house with creative financing for us to live in. I've followed you since 2016, and I haven't looked back since. I'm looking to close deals like the King and Queen. I don't know what the rest of that is, but that's my winner. You get my King Closers Blueprint right there. This is why we are doing what we're doing with Titanium University. Okay. To
It never
anyone out there
fails to
that
make me
ever wants,
emotional.
to
Every
anyone
single
out there
time.
that ever wants to question our motives, let me go ahead and lay down exactly what our motives are. Our motives are to have tens of thousands of people just like that. I want to change people's lives. If you think it's because I need to make money, if you think it's because I need affiliate income, then you're fucked in the head. Okay. That's not it. We do real estate for that. Okay. If you think the fucking $11 that Speed to Lead sends me for you buying a lead moves the needle, it doesn't. Okay. We are here to change people's lives. We are here to put out the most comprehensive course out there because we know how to do things successfully and the right way. There's not going to be any of this mental manipulation, mind game bullshit, underwriter, fake finance department shit. Okay. You're going to learn how to talk the truth, be honest, feel good about yourself when you close deals. You're going to know how to do, how to do the best lead generation. You're going to know how to dispo deals where end buyers want to buy deals where they're profitable, where they have equity and cash flow. You're going to understand when to do creative finance and why you're doing creative finance, not just because someone told you you should do creative finance. You're actually going to understand the reasons why you're doing it. And as things change, you're in for life. Once you attend Titanium University, you're in. You're a part of the community for lifetime. This was one of the questions that was asked of me and Cassie. Do you want it to be lifetime access, or do they have to continue to pay over the course of time? And I said, absolutely not. I want it to be lifetime access. Once you pay, it's over. You're in. If you want to go to a separate event like the Closers Formula or something like that, that's a separate cost. But as far as being a part of the community, this is the community moving forward. It is what we want to create. So here's the thing. Is it an investment? Of course it's an investment. Right now, listen, for those of you that don't know, I'm a huge comic book fan. So
me too.
When we were talking as a team about what we wanted to call this, I had these conversations about, different superhero ideas that we have with Titanium University. And the thing that just stood out to me was, dude, we're kind of like X-Men. Okay. You just call it the first class. So boom, there it is. Titanium University, first class. The benefits of being a part of the first class is that you're going to be buying it at a discount. It's $5,000 for the first 30 people that join. Okay. The other thing is you'll get exclusive Titanium first class swag. Okay. You'll also be a part of the creation of this. So as we're going along, we're actually going to be creating this and getting your feedback from the early modules that we create.
So, like, for example, like just giving you a silly little example, we had somebody who's already signed up, and they are asking a question to us about a memorandum and I'm like, hey, we need to add that onto, this module so that they can link back to, like us. I'm going to do a video on memos. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like when we say we're going to continue to create beyond, like, I mean, in other words, the set list is like kind of just going to always grow and grow and grow and grow.
I mean, listen, I'm so pumped about this because like today, I'm having this thoughts about today's live. Cassie and I, we did our little meeting and we decided what we want to talk about. And then I'm standing there by myself and I have this idea. I was like, dude, we should totally do Titanium University Hunger Games. I'm already planning stuff for the university and we haven't even announced it yet. I'm already past the announcement. And the team's like, what would Titanium University Hunger Games be? And I'm like, we would take people inside of the university, say we take 10 of them, and then they all start calling sellers on day one. And whoever's the last one not get a signed deal, that person's dead. And now we're down to 9. And then we go to the next one. And the next last one, that one's dead. And whoever's the last one standing, that's the winner of the Hunger Games. Like, these are the types of things that we're going to be doing inside of the university, as well as, yes, you get the access to me and Cassie. We'll have the coaching calls. You'll have access to the team where we will help you out with things that are going on inside of your business. But I'm just so excited to now have an established, like, this is the community. A to Z, this is what we do. So we can point you when you're struggling and saying, hey, did you watch this module? Do you understand this? Utilizing the same language, right? Where we talk about the headshot concept, stop searching for unicorns, focus your habits, excuse plus a story, creating your own reality, all these different things that we talk about that we stand on as this is the foundation for what we have done here at Titanium Investments. We want to convey that to you so you can implement that in your business as well. So I'm so excited. What if you guys have questions about Titanium University? I mean, my adrenaline is pumping over here, so I'm sure there's things that you guys have questions on. Also, Cassie, at some point in time, you're gonna have to pick someone for winning your comp course. I can't do that.
I know. Like, there's a couple of comments from people that I like, but I know they already have it. So I look, guys, I am gonna need at least another round. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest. Yours was definitely, like, Michael was definitely gonna be like, that one got me in the feels, So I think I need another round of comments as we
Who was it
wrap
that
this
wrote
up.
that?
It was somebody named Michael. Guys, just so you know, if you're like on Facebook, like, we're gonna have to go reference it after, ask Nick and Sema to look at that for us. Because if you're not registered, like, it just says Facebook user, but I think it was somebody named Mike or Michael. And I can't wait to finish reading that comment because, like, that is it
Mike
for me.
Sanchez.
Mike Sanchez.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, so far the one that made me giggle was the Dewey Decimal System for wholesaling. Like, I like that. And yeah, I think I need another round as we finish this up.
Okay, who wants to win Cassie's comping course? It's free. So if you don't have it, I promise you need it. Guaranteed. It's the thing that most people, everyone wants to buy my course. And I'm like, you can probably figure out how to talk. You probably can't figure out how to comp, though. You need help with that. So you guys need it. So Nick says we already have 7 of the 30 spots sold for Titanium University. That's amazing. Listen, here's the thing. It's not going to be limited to 30. We're going to have it. It's just the first 30 is at that $5,000 price point. The price is going to only go up from here. It is going to be premier. I mean, I'm telling you, if you guys follow us and you think that we are genuine people that pour our heart and soul into what we do, which I hope you do, I can promise you we are going to pour everything we have into Titanium University.
Okay, I think it's Matt Martinez because he said I volunteer as tribute, and that's a throw to the Hunger Games, and I dig that.
That was witty. That was witty.
I dig that, and for a very long time, my sound on my phone was the Hunger Games whistle. So,
also, Matt Martinez said, I'm glad you picked him because he said something earlier. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to find it.
Facebook user, both the art and the science from the comp queen herself. Can I give away two? Come on. I couldn't pick, and then now I picked two.
It's your thing, so you can do whatever you want. I mean,
yeah, let's give it to Facebook user with the art and the science, because you know what that tells me? They were either at, well, if they were a closer's formula, I'm sure they already have access to it.
Plus, Matt says he wants to get away from his corporate job of 7 years and be able to spend more time with his two little girls. So there you go. Matt Martinez, he gets it. And then this Facebook user, both the art and science to comp from the queen herself. All right.
Da Vinci, they call me. Literally, Angel says, I'll kiss Titus in the mouth if I win. Angel, I've got news for you. If you didn't watch the live where I announced it, we have Titus has new brothers.
Yes. So if you won, please email RJ Bates III at titanium.investments and we'll get you hooked up with those. So Mike Sanchez, Matt Martinez, and whoever the art and science to comp from the queen herself was, you guys are the winners. Randy says, Randy and Lisa, they signed up for Titanium University this morning. They said only negative about the Titanium University is that we can't see RJ rigging the axe throwing event during the Crucible. Slow down. You're going to sound like a host off of Wholesale Hotline saying I rigged things over there. Calm down.
Listen, Randy and Lisa, we're going to make you get in that motor coach and come see us. We're going to have, guys, look, we're going to have RJ and I actually do tend to love so much our in-person events, our boot camps. We're moving anything like that really into an implementation kind of where we can really focus on helping you guys implement the things that we're going to be teaching in university. I think this university is so important to us because it allows such a deep dive. It allows such a deep comprehension. I do think that we will probably have a massive community meetup at least once a year at some point. So we will promise you, RJ will be happy to meet everyone, the thousands of people in our community, that anyone that shows up, he'll be happy to be you all in axe throwing at those in-person events.
All right. So since you gave away two, I'm going to give away two as well. This dude, Dima, and I wish I had RJ's beard. So Taz, you inspired me, bro. You said closed mouths don't get fed, RJ. Give away a second one. So, hey, Dima, you could thank Taz because you complimented the beard. And the beard's looking mighty good today, so I have to agree.
I mean, he looked like he had a decent beard going, too.
I know, right?
Smart fella.
Says, thanks to RJ, connected with a buyer in Virginia during the 50-50-50. That shifted me from real estate. With Cassie's help, I bought, wrapped, originated note, and sold, paving success. That's awesome. Congratulations, Peyton. Peyton says, I'm doing all creative now, but I'm back adding some cash to keep the capital coming in. Super ready to be a part of this community. We'd love to have you. Listen, guys, like I said, we don't want to keep you on here for too long today. We've already kept you on an hour and 15 minutes, but we are so pumped about Titanium University. Like we said, we are going to be pouring in there. If you guys got the King Closers blueprint on Black Friday, some of the feedback that we got was you guys loved the feedback on my calls where I broke down and did like film review. There's going to be a ton of those inside of the community. We're going to be breaking down the fundamental elements of our business, like the headshot concept, the stop searching for unicorns, going into great detail about that. We're going to be breaking down every single form of lead generation that we do and marketing that we do, why we do it. We're going to be breaking down how we talk to sellers, how we comp and underwrite. Cassie's going to be going deep into that, where it's going to be like, if you ever are struggling with something, we're going to point you in the direction of, hey, this is where you go to understand how to comp and underwrite deals. And the creative side of things, you know, I'm going to go into comping. Cassie's going to go into how she talks to sellers, where it's not just going to be, hey, RJ's going to talk about this and Cassie's going to talk about that. We're going to
do dispositions. We're going to be doing like contracts. Like that's like a big thing that people are like, nobody ever did this in anything that I ever took. Like we're going to deep dive into contracts. I mean, like it's endless. Like we are going to literally try to pour everything in our experience and our brains, all of it, everything, comprehensive. That word means something for a reason. And as things change, we're going to be able to update it. But it is that community. It is those live calls. It is that access to us, like that we're finally able to facilitate and fulfill something that we could never do before. And I'm letting you know right now, like with RJ and myself, one of the things that we were born having in common is that everything that we set our minds to achieve, not just at a high level, but better than has ever existed, known to us, like we set out to do that. We set out to give everything in this community, from that story that we told you guys, that we didn't get, in a way that you can change your lives, your business, your family, your future, in the way that we did, without having to go through everything that we had to go through, or wonder if parts are going to be missing. Like, no, there are not going to be parts that are missing. And if there are, I can promise you, we'll add them. Like, if things change, we'll add it. We'll change it. Like, we are here on a mission.
What makes this a university in comparison to any other course out there is that Cassie and I are not going to be the only teachers. So case in point, if we're not the experts on something, for example, we're going to have David Olds come in and talk about transaction coordination. We're going to have these people that we use inside of our business that are better suited to deeply explain what a certain aspect of this business come in and quote unquote be the professor for you guys. JJ asks, how much is it? It's $5,000 for lifetime access for the first 30. After that, the price is going up. It just, to be honest with you, that first class, we're discounting it because we want you guys to come in and be a part of it, to also kind of boost the community to get started, and also to give feedback to us on how we're delivering the content to you guys. So it's $5,000 to the first 30. And we already have 7 signed up. So there's 23 spots left. Any form of live support on a day-to-day basis besides the weekly Zooms. Yeah, Casey, it's the same.
There's not going to be weekly Zooms, right? Like there is going to be more so it like a virtual office, I guess is the better way to put it.
Yeah, Casey, it's what Nick told you earlier today. So same stuff that y'all went over. Yes, there will be other support there It's not going to be like, hey, you can pick the phone up and just call me and Cassie. We're going to have a large community. So it's not a one-on-one mentorship. It's joining a community, and also there will be other people inside the community that can help you as well. Right. I'm not
Well,
trying to.
we are working and training coaches, and we're going to continue to expand. So before we get into that, like Taz says, I'm going to need a scholarship form. We are offering, like, if you get on the website, there are financing options that Nick can go over with you.
Yes. Yeah, several people have already taken up on like a payment plan of sorts. So you can do that. It is ultimately still $5,000 though. So like, don't think like, hey, you can come in for like $100 a month or anything like that. That's not, we're not that type of a program. Okay.
No.
Yeah. And here's the thing.
Payment plans.
And when, some of you guys are like, hey, I need a scholarship form, I'll give you your scholarship form. Okay. You ready for it? It's called the video that I did on this YouTube channel. It's called How to Get a Deal Using $0 Marketing. Go do that. Make yourself $5,000. Boom, you're in. Let's move on. Like, it can be simple, guys. And I hate to be that way, but I'm just going to be honest with you. If this message doesn't resonate with you right now, then I'm probably not the guy for you to sign up for, because I'm just going to kick you in the teeth every single day until you either quit or you do it. Okay. So here's the thing.
I kind of like tell people this in a gentler, more Nurse Cassie kind of way. I really think that it is so important to make money while you're educating yourself, but like you can get to where you can do this so quickly that like RJ said, it only takes a deal, 2 deals to change the trajectory of your life. And I do absolutely recommend we do give a lot away for free. But again, it's not going to be in this format, but this format will be able to skyrocket you, into the atmosphere, that's the intent of the university. And yeah, I mean, you get lifetime access after that. Like,
no, Jacob, I didn't take it offensively. What I'm saying is if you're in a position where you can't afford it right now for whatever reason, but you want this, go figure it out. Like, you can do it. I mean, it's the same way that we figured out how to do a lot of things. And we still have to problem solve on a daily basis to figure out how to do that.
RJ and I are just hardcore, and sometimes he sounds like a Viking. He doesn't not very easily offended.
Yeah, I'm not offended by that at all. I mean,
no, me either.
I fully. I mean, if you guys want to know, I set the price much higher than $5,000. The $5,000 came from other powers to be. Okay, they hate money. I love money. I mean, I wanted to poke you guys in the fucking eyeball. So,
well,
just so you know.
I mean, the truth of it is the value of what we were giving is worth a shit ton more than $5,000. But part of our mission too, though, is just to make sure everybody can get to a point quickly where they can skyrocket it.
Listen, I can promise you, if you come into Titanium University and you watch what we are going to lay down and you start implementing it, hundreds of thousands of dollars is going to start rolling in, and that will quickly turn into 7 figures. That is a guarantee, because I've seen it time and time again with either students that have come in that have truly implemented, or the people that have worked for us. Rebecca's got a question here. She says, when I go to the page, it says need to book a call to learn more. We need to book a call first before being able to purchase. Rebecca, so see, this is one of those things where we don't want it just out there where people are seeing pricing and all of that. We want to make sure that you guys are fully understanding what you're signing up for, making sure that it's what you need, making sure you're a good fit, and then, yes, taking the credit card at that point in time. So it's not so much that we're trying to limit who can and can't sign up, but we want to make sure that we don't take $5,000 from you and then this isn't what you needed. We have other lower ticket items that we can give people that maybe that would be a better fit for them. Because case in point, if someone were to come to us and say, I'm giving you my last $5,000, my question is going to be, well, then how are you going to run your business? I'd rather you give me $100, take that, go make $10,000, take that $10,000, go make $20,000, then give me $5,000. And then let's go to the races and make $100,000, $1 million and all that stuff. So it's more about that. Also, Rebecca, if at any point in time you want to reach out to Nick Robbins right here, he can help you.
That's our boy.
Yeah. Nick, you're right now for this week, you would be scheduling calls with Nick. Next week, it's going to be with Justin and Garrett because Nick and Sema are going to be on vacation. But listen, guys, again, we're super excited. Go to titaniumu.com/first class. February 22nd is when it goes live. Me and Cassie, we're going to be laying down content over the next month, and we're just going to keep going. We're so excited to be able to be trusted by so many people. It was crazy. We literally sold our first enrollment of Titanium University before we even made an announcement on social media or sent an email. We literally had someone call us and say, hey, this is what I'm looking for. And Nick was like, that's literally what we're about to announce. And he signed up right then and there. So it's been an amazing just ride over the past 9 years, but also over the past just couple of months. I mean, it's been insane to see the support continue to grow. Randy and Lisa said, Lisa and I have been to 2 crucibles and signed up at the university earlier today after speaking to Nick. It's a small investment for where it will propel our business. And listen, Randy and Lisa continue to invest in themselves. And I have to say, there's something to be said about that because the first time that they came to the crucible, they left and life happened and they didn't really implement the information. And a lot of times when people take education and then they don't implement, they disappear. They run away from what they originally wanted. They run away from, hey, we resonate with RJ and Cassie, and we don't want to admit that maybe we didn't do what we were supposed to do on our side. Randy and Lisa, hey, life happened. We didn't implement, and we're ready to start implementing. And they continue to invest in themselves. I love them to death. Randy, I'm just going to tell you this, man. I want to see you to stop thinking and start doing a lot more. I want to see Randy Charlton fuck something up. Like I want to see something wrong.
He's gotten so much better, and I'm so excited to see where this takes you. And I just look, I mean, for all of you, but to Randy and Lisa too, like I can honestly say, like, it is. There are times when like people just don't know, like this business, and our mission. Let's just call it. It can be tough, you guys. Like it can be trying when you have such a big vision, when you have such a huge mission, when you have such a huge passion for this. And obviously I'm just going to keep crying on the live today. It's ridiculous, but I will say, like, to that point, like, it is such an honor and a privilege to be at this point, to be able to do this with our team, with the best partner in the whole wide world, with the best team in the whole wide world. I can't believe we're here, and I am so super grateful that we get to do this, that we get to create this, and we get to have a hand in, creating change for the better. And you know, somebody once told me that knew me a long, long, long time ago in my teenage years that they saw some of my journey, and the thing that always stuck with them about me is that they knew I was born to make the world a more beautiful place. And it was really cool to see how I was doing that. And I will say that, like, that is the best part about this. That's the best part about university, is the best part about this team, is the best part about like this mission. And it is the best part about this community. And it is so crazy to me how many of you are that are out there that are just so embracing this community. I am blown away. I'm so grateful. I'm so freaking excited. Like, I can't even contain it. Like, every day I'm like on fire for this. And I mean, we're like, I'm ready to tear shit up. Like,
Facts,
and
partner.
I hope that you guys are too. I know Randy and Lisa, like, this is gonna, like, dude, I'm gonna find your ass and shake you up. Like, if this doesn't skyrocket you guys, like, it's going to.
Also, we already are in multiple countries because
I didn't know that.
yeah, because Galit,
Oh yeah,
they signed up from Israel.
Israel. Yeah.
So we're already United States and Israel. I'm pretty sure Canada will come pretty quickly. So that's amazing. Here's the thing. Logan says, I have 5K, but scared to really start. Been learning for 3 years now. You haven't been learning shit. Okay. For 3 years, we had already done $3 million plus, maybe even $4 million in wholesale fees. Okay. Here's the thing. You got to start taking some action on a daily basis, consistent action.
Yes. And then also, like, if you're like Logan, I absolutely recommend you do book that consult with Nick. And like, I don't want, you know, RJ's version of that for y'all to perceive it as if you shouldn't book that consult. It's just that, like, hey, Logan, if, you know, Nick is like incredible. He basically is RJ in another person's body in so many ways. It's insane. But he is going to just kind of determine, like, hey, before you take university, I want you to go do this, this, and this, if that's what you need. If you're ready for university, then like maybe you have a prereq. Let's just throw that down this way. You need a prereq course before you can take Algebra 1. You need to take this, you know, that's all that is. Like, we don't want to discourage you guys from planning for this or getting in this or scheduling that consult, because, you know, like, if you're dead ass broke and you got $100, you know, let Nick talk to the people. But, you know, maybe email into that email and say, hey, you know, I'm going to be on the plan that says I'm going to do this. I'm going to lock up my first deal and I'm going to lock up my second deal, and I'm getting in university. What is there anything you can point me to that I need to know? Well, Nick will let you know, or somebody else on the team will let you know. Just like, get in there and get action. This community, that's what it's for. That's what these other products and these other giveaways are for as well. It's what RJ's YouTube is for. We put out so much that's for free to get you there. And so if you think you might be ready, but you want to make sure, 3 years is a long time, buddy. I'll take you places you never even dreamed of in 3 weeks. Just
Here's
saying.
the other thing. This is not stopping what we're giving freely to the community, okay?
No.
We are going to have, like I've said, a long form video every single day of the year in 2024, as well as 3 short form videos every single day. Okay. Nick says, to echo this, as RJ said, the goal of the call is really to determine what's the best fit for you and where you are. Okay. I've spoken with people where it's not the best fit, and that's okay. I'll set you up with a game plan and steps to get rolling. Exactly. Biz1 says, hey, brother, is the 5-step closer formula the same process if I have cold call leads versus PPC/PPL leads? Yes. The only thing is you just change up the words early on. Like when I say, hey, Biz1, I saw that you filled out a form on my website and you wanted to sell that property, you would say, hey, biz one, I was just calling to see if you wanted to sell 123 Main Street. And then they say yes. And you say, how much are you looking to get for it? Okay.
That is not the sound that an X makes.
How would you pronounce that then?
I wouldn't, but I'm really glad you did. I mean, it's not just that it's one X, it's that it's two X's.
That's why it's bzz, one.
Uh-huh. I don't know what it's supposed to say, but I'm really glad you read it that way. Yeah, guys, like our goal forever is to get you guys, no matter where you are in your journey, to where you can get to where we are in ours and beyond, and create the reality that you want for yourself with real estate investing, wholesaling. And it is our calling. It is our calling to do this. It is our calling to make this. It is our calling to be as much of your journey as we can be, as much a part of that as we can be. You know, you may not be, you know, you may be completely noob. You might be a couple years in. I can promise you that we're ready and able to put it out there to get you guys that comprehensive stuff. And I'm looking forward to getting this rocking and rolling. It is rolling out on my birthday, and I am looking forward to my best birthday yet. I really am.
There you go. Well, happy fucking birthday, partner.
Early birthday.
Yeah. Guys.
Best birthday present.
Titanium University. We're excited. This is going to be our legacy, our imprint on this industry. We're looking forward to creating the most amazing wholesaling community in existence. Hoping you guys, each and every one of you that are watching this video that stayed on for this long, to see you inside the community. And there's no better way for us to end this video than with the badass intro we had, because I don't know if we'll ever use it again, but we'll see you guys tomorrow.